Okay, Aquarius, this is going to be your reading for July and August of 25. This is spirituality we're getting into here. So, I want to make mention my Facebook page. I started a Facebook page. If you want to interact with me there and with healings and live nights and energy and whatnot, go in there and follow the page, and I'll come in. If I get no followers, I won't come in. So, let's get started. The first card that we have for you, Aquarius, from the Gaia deck is, take a deep breath, the Nine of Fire. Heart and compassion. We're kind of in limbo there. The weird thing is we're being highly guided, but there's something here in pause, something numbing. Is it our heart or outward of us, meaning something we love that we're putting on pause? This could be. Yeah, there's a great guidance here. We may be focusing on the self and elevating the self with abilities and whatnot. Again, a lot of people are going to be coming into higher abilities here in the sense, I was going to say sensual way, but in the sensory way, like your heightened ability of sight, smell, sound, taste, touch, these kind of things. Changed and upgraded. Yeah. And I feel like clairvoyance here may be your bag. It may be the area where the universe has found for you that you are very good at sending and receiving visual images. Yeah. Okay. But there's something to do with the heart center. They're not opening that field here, but we got a few cards to go. So let's go into the second card. Again, this is past energy. Now, as we move into the present, where are we at? 21, perception. Now, this card always brings, look at all the darkness, right? So there's a sense of either we are looking at darkness and therefore we may be expanding on that and creating it and coming from it. Again, the Aquarius line of energy, there's 50% down the middle. 50% of you are just in dark energy. And the other 50 is in the opposite. I don't know why that is, but it's very clear cut in the Aquarius line of energy that I flow with. So, give me a moment. Yeah, we're going to be expanding on the dark and the light here in this reading. Basically, now we're going to split the energies. For the dark side, they're very much perceiving from that realm, utilizing from that realm. And at this point, that may be, I'm getting that sword down is also a pause from speaking. There's a pause from going outward from heart. There's a pause from speaking. And it's like we're getting our plans ready to strike here on the dark end. Now, on the lighter side, the only thing here, again, they were emphasizing the clairvoyance. The only white part here is what we see. And that could be like we are seeing things in the present. Now, let's flip to the light side, okay? I've done the reading for the darkness. Now, for the light side, we are seeing things clearly. We understand with great worth what is right and wrong in our field because of what we are seeing in it and perceiving in it. Now, above and beyond that, the problem with this card is that we could be perceiving things wrong. And I feel like our visuals are not letting us down, but our heart may be. Okay? So there's something, that's what it is. There's something from our heart center we may feel a great attraction to, and that is betraying us. Okay, here we go, getting underneath stuff. That's strong from them. Okay, as we move into the future, where do we end up here? The Ace of Water. Okay, we end up with a loving heart, so that is good. Yeah, they're going, that's not all sides, right? We know which side ends up with the heart. It's the light side. But the dark side, give me a moment. They're trying to trap a heart, is what it is. Okay. Yeah, not good. Okay, as we move into the Isis cards, getting deeper, the 9 of fire. As we move into that energy, again, I was getting a great sense of clairvoyance here, maybe our PowerPoint. We may see visually in our mind's eye that may be our strength within, the psychic field. And then they're also showing me that glow in the belly, which is that gut instinct. We know when things are wrong. We can sense that as well. So on top of that energy, again, that rose, there's something about the love area here that's distorting our field quite highly. On top of that, the Isis card is the Serpent of Fire, the Priestess of the Serpent Sisterhood. Okay, give me a moment here. Sorry, my stomach. That's my stomach going off. Woo! Okay, so the cobra to me is a symbol of knowing when to strike, because our instinct is highly elevated, and she's got cobra in her hands, cobra on her head. So there's a sense here in the past we were seeing clearly. Okay? We have no fear of getting burnt by our instinct, because we're fine-tuning that ability to the degree that we understand and we feel more intrinsically what is right and wrong, what's following instinct, and what's, we're feeling that more deeply on deeper levels. Okay. Now beyond that, the sisterhood, there's always they're saying people like us. So there may be people like us in the field that perceive quite deeply. Other clairvoyant people that are highly clairvoyant. Other people that are highly sensory. Others. Oh, okay. That are coming forth. Not in such a great way. Okay. Okay. I think I know what they're prepping me for here. Okay, this is past energy, okay? They're giving me a sense of, there's people, like if you're God himself and you decide to imbue people, you watch them all their life and you see how how are they designed? How do they react to certain scenarios? Are they mostly good, or are they, can we trust them to have higher abilities, right? Because the responsibility of that. We can give these energies down to people, and what they choose, they can choose to make mistakes with them, and they will slowly deplete out of that realm of power. Okay, now give me a moment here. What is happening is we, along with others, may have been given the keys to energetic clairvoyance, to respect the clairvoyant field. And other people are doing devious things with it, along with us, because nobody can just have that and know exactly where to step all the time. You kind of have to make mistakes in order to, light your path. You have to, because it was like, I make fun of when they first come down these. I said, just give me the rule book, I'll read it. And they're like, you would be 10 lifetimes reading. We learn as we go. And that's a thing. And you will feel instinctively when you made a wrong. And you will feel karmically when you made a wrong, or you will see karmically when you made a wrong. All these things line up, right? So you have to fine tune your abilities, a wide path, but suddenly you can't do these things because you have a conscience that says that was not the right thing to do. And even though at the time we thought it was right, we've learned and right? So the learning curve here is what they're talking about. Now, they're showing me a line of people, and some people are stepping forward and some people are stepping back. And what that means is they will use their abilities for good, or they will use their abilities for bad. They will fine-tune their abilities for good, or they will fine-tune them to do more bad. This is now what is happening, the separation factor here. Aquarius is always future forward, so this is a little bit for the most of the regular people. This will be in the future by a few years, but nonetheless, that's what's happening. Now, these people were imbued at the same, they're going, this is how I can relate. These people were infused with this energy at the same time. with the same expectation, but some will fail and some will succeed. And they're going, we've done both. We've failed in certain areas and we realize our mistake, we correct, and we go forward. And they're going, that is the perception here. We are tapping into what is right and relieving what is wrong. We are fine tuning. We are, there's another word they want me to strap on there. I can't. We're fine tuning our abilities and we're realizing the rule book. And as we go, we're staying true to that. Okay. Now what's going on here is that the sense they're giving me, without going to the next card, because I think this is where everything goes off awkward, is because it's almost like in another life we may have had these people, this line of people that got all the same abilities. We may have been on the same baseball team in a past life, and we may have had certain, like a neighborly feeling that we have there. But in this life, their choice to do good or bad is up to them. It's free will. It can go in either direction. Now, the Aquarius is starting to realize that both these things can be in one position, meaning you could have someone come to you and feel like, oh, I've known you all my life, but yet you go, whoa, they're not on the right side of the tracks here. Like, this is betraying me. It's like you feel like it's a soulmate, but they're doing all the wrong things. Like in the real world, they're doing things like devious and lying and cheating and stealing and, things that you just don't agree with. Your moral code is off. So that's the thing. And they're going like, why is that? Well, this is the explanation for that. So you Aquarians, you future forward people, what is happening here is we are coming across soulmates that choose not to rectify things in this life. And this is why we're feeling such a pull toward them, but realizing there's a complete divide here, that we can't go there because they're not like us in certain ways. And I don't mean that to be dividing, but on an energetic level it is. We've realized they're not made of the same tissue that we're made of. They're different. They can do bad things and not have to worry about it. We can't. We suffer great consequences for it because we've evolved in such ways. Okay. Now, some people do this and they have these abilities, though they will not gain access to them in the future. They have up to this point utilized them for bad. Okay. I'm going to leave that there because I could go on and on and on. As we get, that's our past. This is a conundrum. Why do I feel so pulled to something that's so wrong for me? We're going to get into why. Our perception. As we get into the now, we're having a hard time because we're feeling this intuitive pull, and then we're seeing that it's just all wrong. What's the Isis card on top of that perception? The Eye of Horus. Awakening divine perception. Yeah. From the highest high, we got to see from eagle eyes, from above eagle eyes, right? From above the three veils of darkness. From above there. And I feel like these people are under veils of darkness is what it is. And they chose in the past, that energy field did work for them. It is changing and mutating where it will no longer be. It's obsolete, this energy field. They have not discovered this yet. They do not believe that that is the case. So therefore they will go down with the ship, so to speak, hanging on to the mast at the top of the flagpole. This is what they're showing me. It's going down, but they're going down with it because they believe in that sinking ship. It's infallible, and that was a mistake, but they're not going to realize that until they come back to redo things. Now, there is a part of the universe that is just going to sink under this weight. No, the Eye of Horus, that is a protection factor. In my deck, I can't remember now, the Eye of Horus and the Eye of Ra. I think the Eye of Horus, I don't want to say it wrong. One of them is in masculine form, one's in feminine. I can't think right now for the life of me what the Horus was in my deck. But I will post it when I find it in editing, and I'll put it here. And basically, what the masculine or feminine, that has to do with what physical form they come in. Okay, so they're going the Eye of Horus, the masculine or the feminine. It will come to you in this form. So when I find that card and I put it up there and it says masculine or feminine, that's the one that's it's kind of like your greatest opponent, right? So again, we will feel a great want to be, but in the universe it's like, no, you can't have this, we can't have this, we can't have this. So there's a great divide here. They're going, yes, we are instinctive because we are actually taking a pause. And for some here, I'm going to get into the T word, the twin. I'm starting more and more to think that the twin flame whole process of all of that was created by the negative cycle to get in between you and your ultimate divine partner. I'm starting to believe that. I didn't want to speak from it before, but it just keeps compounding in that way, that these people that are labeled as twin flames are actually people that are there to take you into the dark side. They are there to take you off the light path. They're there too. And I feel for some Aquariuses on the dark side, they are that person. I don't know, we may find out in the future that it's a little distorted and warped the way I'm thinking, but for the most part, because they call the twin flame, what is it, twin flame, the false twin flame, it's all caught up in that. To me, what it's been explained is you're going to have someone who challenges you to the highest degree. It's going to be a mirrored soul, because at one point you were one soul. They broke it apart and they shove you down to find each other. If you find each other and you can go through the turbulations of healing and you're both at the same level, then you could possibly make it because you're both at the same level. But more than not, this pull and people talking about all these weird things that happen and that I put under that guise, it really comes down to a positive and a negative pull. So I don't know. Again, I'm just saying that now because it's in hold until I get a definitive answer, and I just haven't. But I'll tell you, there's more and more energy here. We have a situation like that. We have a negative, but for that person to clean up their life and come out swinging on the light side, they could join you. This is not the agreement that they made. They made this very early in their life, so they're very ingrained in the darkness. It's not happening, so they're showing me ripping up that contract, starting a new one. And that new one's coming in. Now, for some of you Aquarians, you are the one that is trying to hold someone back from their divine partner. I'm not going to expand on that anymore. Now, for the rest of you that are in the light, you have been triggered by someone. Now, I feel like we instinctively, we're seeing it clearly. We just don't know what to do about it. And the doing will come in the future. Okay? Now, the Eye of Horus, we're going to release back to the regular card here. Whatever it was, masculine or feminine, it will be in that physical form for you on the 3D earth. Now, divine perception, you are given the ability to see from the higher light, from the higher view. That includes instinct having to do with these particular scenarios, these soulmate connections that are being absorbed. Why do I feel such a pull to such a negative energy? We are removing ourselves from this energetically. I think we have emotionally, spiritually, mentally, there's some ties there because we are trying to intellectualize the process and we're not coming up with answers. In the future, when we come across our divine partner, then we will see clearly. That hasn't come yet. We're in the in-between. So this is why. It will all make sense when that new partner comes in because ultimately this partner prepares us for that other partner perfectly. And they're not meant to stay. They're meant to shake you up and wake you up, and then off you go to that divine partner. For this reading, I'm not saying that's all twins or twinsy kind of things. I'm kind of dropping that whole scenario. I think it was just a hubbub created to create confusion. Now, as we move forward, The Eye of Horus. Okay, as we move forward into our Ace of Cups. So we will not be diluted in the heart center. Those on the light side, I'm not going to expand too much on the dark here. Those that are in light and are picking up on all these futuristic realms, that are going in there and doing the spiritual work and coming out with question marks, they still have their heart intact. They will not allow anything to get that part marred. Okay, so the Aquarius here has done some heart-centered work in order to become clean and clear as they move forward. They're realizing the trap they were in. They're removing themselves from it. They got no answers as to why, what, wherever. They don't care. They're just moving forward. As we go into that field, over top of the ace, the Isis card here is the portal of light comes down upon you again on wings through time and space. So I feel like you are rewarded with time and space powers. Okay, now hold on here. Manipulation of time. You're starting to see that you can maneuver in this realm. Okay? Space. Give me a moment. They're literally showing me the night sky. Hold on. Yeah, they're showing me the night sky. And if you are gifted enough, you may realize that there are things out there that you are connected to. And these things can communicate, and they can answer you back, and they can empower you as well. So it's like an extra force field, if you will. I'll put it at that for now. These are opening up to you as well, and there's a visual stimuli that is attached to that is very validating on the physical plane for the Aquarian. If you know what I'm talking about, this will be validation. It won't be something you got to look for. It's something you've already seen in your universe up in the sky. Okay, and there will be more. Hold on. There will be more interaction in that way. We just have to deal with our fear factors here, because they will come forth. But if we have fear, they will back off. So we have to control ourselves and understand where our mental mindscape is and what we will truly allow. Some of you are asking for things that if it come and showed, we would be traumatized. They will not go past that trauma line. They will not create trauma for you. They're trying to create peace. So they're trying to do it in the most unharmful way. But it can be jolting nonetheless. If you know, you will know this is validation. Okay. So that's wanting to slowly come into your field. Okay. And we're seeing it. Again, there's a distance there. It's because of our fear factor. So we really have to work with our own personal guides and gain answers there to help us deal with that. They will have the keys to that. So tap into your light and you will gain more tools there. Okay, now the cat cards to lighten things up, man, because we just went time and space. Doesn't matter. But we those on the light side here, they're wanting me to express this again. I didn't go over it good enough. Time and space, how do I explain this? We may, in our mindscape, come up with ideas of how to manipulate time and space, and that is not just a random thing that hits you. It's there to exercise a tool that you have, to see that you can do this, to work with it, to play with it, to see. Again, be careful here. We've learned, those on the light side have learned the parameters. And they're pretty much, they're just working with guards everywhere. So, this is in the right way. We know what we can and can't do here. So just stay within those parameters. Now, there will be a few that will go off. And again, karma's high and it's swift at this time. So we will learn quickly what we can and cannot do in this way. But there are areas here where we're going to be shown. Okay, they're going to simplify it to a real life scenario. And I had a situation where I went through this myself. So what I did was I just, in my head, I just felt like I could manipulate time. It was just a fact. It's like, yeah, we can manipulate time. I don't do it, but I could if I want to. And then there's a certain part of me that says, okay, maybe you want to. Let's try this. Let's see. Let's try this on and see if it fits. So what I did was, and I would do this and then I would just back off. Okay, I know that works. Next. What's next on the agenda? So time and space was that day. I went to have coffee with someone that day and I said, you know what? I got an hour and a half that I had a rigid schedule. And I said, I want it to feel like we've been talking for 3 hours. I want it to expand. And when we leave, I want to feel content that we've got everything off our chest, whatever. I want to be able to feel like it was a good, constructive conversation and go home and feel satisfied. That other person feels satisfied. I just want it to be an all around good day, good conversation. And I want it to feel like it's not an hour and a half. I want it to feel like it was a day where we had all evening to talk or whatever, that kind of thing. So I went and that's exactly what happened. I didn't tell nobody. I didn't tell the person I was meeting. I didn't tell them, yeah, I was expanding time here a little bit. But I just protected myself, went into the conversation with the intention, this is going to feel good. And it's going to feel good because we're going to be able to have enough time to get all of our stuff out. And we're going to have enough time to feel contented about it, not rushed, not like I'm missing things or I'm mad because I can't talk about certain things, whatever. It's going to be easy flow. And that's exactly what happened. And at the end of again, I didn't tell that person. At the end of the conversation, they said to me, man, it feels like we've been here all afternoon. And I just laughed and I said, yeah, it does, doesn't it? She goes, I feel good about the talk we had, blah, blah, blah. And then off we went. And that was exactly the thing. It's, this is an ability you will have, but be careful with it. Again, it's a trust issue here between you and your guides. And again, the ones on the dark side are not going to gain access to this at all. They're not going to even perceive that it's real. There's a lockdown there, right? On a different scale. So I needed to explain that to you because time and space, and that it goes for space, but I'm not going to get into that because I'm not getting the information for that. So as we move into the past here, the serpent of fire, again, there are people who have been given gifts all along here, and some will succeed in going forward and learning more and opening and expanding these areas, and some will do wrong with them, so therefore they will be shut down. So we're going to see this highly in our field here. And in the past, we were in and amongst them. So, Serpent of Fire, what do we get on top of there for the cat card? We got 13. Yeah, the Death card. And that talks about the transition. These people will have to transition back out of those power abilities. For some reason, they're really accentuating this. It's like a crowd, like when you're in training for sports, you get like 50 players are going to train for a team or running or whatever they're going to train for. And after a certain amount of time, you got dropouts. This is what's happening in this energetic, psychic, psionic field. There's dropouts, and they're dropping out for bad behavior, all of these apply for not showing up. You know what I mean? Which means not using the abilities they've been given. They just stuff it and don't believe in it, It has a consequence of relieving you. Because if there's no belief system there, then why are we going to... But again, there's a reason that it was given, is to advance the soul forward. So, wow, my head's dizzy. The Death card is coming as they're going like a cutting of a cord to people that had the ability and lost it for the wrong reasons. We're going to be cutting cords there, and it may even be colleagues. Like if you're a psychic and a reader and stuff like that, and you go in the circles, there's certain people who are just going to drop out because they're not all of them are utilizing for negative reasons. That's why the devil energy, they got to go. It's just because some of them just, they're not driven. They don't feel passion to utilize that energy. So it's going to go to someone who will feel the passion, who will utilize that more, who will. And this is what's going on. So it's not all for hugely nefarious reasons, but there are some in that form as well that are just using it for bad, and they're just really, it's going to be revoked. Like they're showing me the ticket being ripped up. It's like no longer are we giving this clairvoyant to someone who's going to manipulate and use it for bad. This is all being taken away, right? There's a certain ceiling these people get anyway. And then after that, it's like, yeah, no more. So this is all, again, this is all a revolvement of the energy that's happening. So every revolution, you could drop someone or whatever. And again, you refresh your own field. So how you use your abilities in the future. If you choose not to use them, you will lose them. It is like a muscle. It will atrophy. It will. And it will be harder to gain back. It's not that you can't gain it back, but you will have to start from scratch, where now you've been given a phase of grace and sort of like a gift. Here you go, and it's glowing. But after a certain amount, it kind of blends into the background. This is what they're showing me. Okay, so the death card is, and again, this is past energy. So where are we in the present here with the Eye of Horus? Again, bringing that masculine or feminine energy. There's the Ten of Swords. Betrayal. Now, for some of you, you have been betrayed by those closest to you in the field. And there may be some people with the same gifts attacking you at the same level. And because of this, they go down. They do. There's a consequence. They don't think so. They think they can, if they do 5 great things and 1 bad thing, then they go down to 2 great things. They're going, no, your abilities are lost. You lose the abilities. And they're starting to see this now. They're starting to get feedback now about their abilities not working out. And it's really tainting their universe. And again, we can have egos involved in this. So it could be very catastrophic for them because the ego inflates things to a degree that's just way out of whack. Now, give me a moment. Yeah, exit strategies. These people are going to start to realize that they can't stand up against you. Because we have more power, we have more insight, and therefore we see further ahead, and therefore their shortcomings are being, exaggerated to a degree that they stand next to you, they can't measure up. So they're going to be taking a swift stage left because of the comparison factor here. They know they don't measure up, and they're just going to, and for some people, it's going to be a blunt cutting, like I no longer deal with that. And they're going, it's okay because we didn't deal with that in the proper manner. That's their wording. We didn't deal with that the way we should have on the 3D plane. We didn't utilize it to help others go forward and evolve others go forward. We used it to diminish others and bring us higher. And the thing that really surprised them is that they didn't gain that higher. They actually reduced themselves, and that's what they're learning now. Okay. It's heavy for some. Those in ego, right? They will literally have blunt changes. So if maybe they were someone who wrapped their world around, whatever, like a spiritual practice, suddenly they'll do something that's completely opposite of that. And that's just usually the universe has got to put you where you're meant to be. And with what you're doing here, you're not meant to go there. You're meant to go somewhere else. And you got to find that passion there, so that, again, revolving, right? All these things that are in limbo and change, they're not so much in limbo. Like there's one here is in limbo, but I feel like the Aquarius is just holding space for when they can. And they know something's off, but they're not really, because I think they've protected themselves. They are protected. Those on the light side are highly protected. And I think because of their own isolation factor, deciding to, in their own universe, they're realizing these people that have done them wrong, they're creating space from them. And in this space, I know in my own path, I found this. You're going, that doesn't mesh with me. That doesn't mesh. I cannot deal with that. What is going on here? Like I'm evolving, but there's nobody evolving with me. This is the feeling of the Aquarian. And to some degree, you may be correct in that. And to some degree, you may have to hold on that. because we are working on the involvement of those that are choosing the light path. And I feel like the Aquarian energy is going, where are my buddies? Where are my buddies of light? Where are they? And they're going, we're in discernment time. Because some of them are not meant to go forth in this energy, and some of them are. But on the physical plane, these processes take time to figure out, and we're still in the mode of figuring who truly is of light and who's faking it, right? So this is not only what we're dealing with, having to, kick them to the curb, but we're also dealing with the fact that who's faking it, and we got to get rid of the riffraff in order to see that crowd of people. Oh, there they are. Those are the light ones. Da da da. To connect. Wow. Yeah, the Aquarius is really missing their sense of community, because at this time they've realized the community they were in and amongst, there was not anything made of substance, especially to where they're at. And I don't mean to, how holier than thou, but the sense is, yes, they are holier, because they are taking more pride and more work and more dignity and more self-respect to do the right thing than anybody in their path. And they're getting rid of the riffraff. No two ways. And unfortunately, some people, they pretend to be where we're at. But we've sussed those out as well and gotten rid of those as well. And that's still disappointing. So now we're in the flux of waiting for our future while we digest the past and move forward. Again, in our peace and grace. The last card for you, Aquarius, as you make my head spin. 21, the world. Would you look at that? That is deep, man. Yeah, there's no darkness here. For you Aquarians that are of light, you've removed your darkness mask. You've understood where you came from, and some of you may have come from darkness. So congratulations for making it to the right side of the tracks, because this is the removal. That's why I love these set of cards, because they can be so profoundly, like, just knocking the energy out. There's water coming down. There's new emotional factors that are coming into play here. We're removing the dark costume we were in. And we may have had a problem connecting with people because they perceived us as dark. And for the light beings, that was very hard to take, very hard to process. People put that on us because we're so far advanced, they're scared of it. They don't know they don't even believe in it. How can we, digest it? You know what I mean? It's like God himself being put up on the cross. He had a lot of good traits, but the people couldn't deal with it. It's the basics, right? Not getting into politics there, but 21. So there's a completion cycle. What? Completion of darkness having any hold over us, any fingers on us, complete removal of darkness and moving into the purity of light. Now, again, we're earth people, we make mistakes and but we learn from our mistakes quite quickly. And we really do want the best for humanity. We don't want to be just bumbling around. Of the air signs, this would be the most earth conscious of the three. Geminis can get so busied up that they lose. It's not that it's not in their heart. It's just that they lose perspective because they're so busy. They like to be doing 50 things at once. And then the Libras, well, they're just there to be that signpost for other people. This is how you peace and grace. Look at the Libra, right? They do it well. They just come into the world. They look beautiful. They have a sense of how they deal with things. It's just polite and cordial, and they're just that example. The Gemini is the busy bee doing all the work and And the Aquarius is the one that is sitting in a lotus pose, connecting with the future and telling everybody where to go and how to file in there. And unfortunately, you get the shit end of the stick. Sorry, I'm swearing on. This is YouTube, but you get the short end of the stick, and you feel like you're targeted as something opposite of what you truly are. And maybe that's why I feel the dichotomy so much, is like, there's, if you're an Aquarius, you're all bad or you're all good. There is no in between. There's no floaters here. You're on one side or the other, right? And again, the dark side, I'm not going to expand there, because they'll be in and amongst trickery, trying to keeping that costume, that black costume on. They're the ones that are going to try and trip you up in that way. And unfortunately, they don't realize, because they don't have the trust from the universal flow built up to a degree that we haven't lied and cheated and steal to get what we want. They're losing their abilities. Okay, I'll leave it there. The dragon card. This should be cool. What do we get for Aquarius? The green dragon. Wow. Helps you tune in to the secrets of nature. Receive answers and guidance from nature and align with your divine essence. I do feel that right where... Whoa. Okay, key. I saw a key somewhere else, or was it the last reading? Must have been the last reading. Yeah, the keys here, there's a lot of signs going to be getting keys to things. Whether it's just an advancement, keys to unlock doors, or keys to unlock passion, whatnot. Here, I do feel... Give me a moment, because at the first card here was our heart on pause. And I feel like the bottom line is our heart betrayed us because we felt strongly for someone or something. We may even have had a past life with them, but it doesn't mean that they made the decisions in this life that are congruent to us being together. They made the decisions congruent to us not being together. And that's what we're having a puzzlement, because we're feeling everything. It's like past life. Yeah, I know that's a past life person. Yeah, I know. But they're not, what's going on? Like, they're not doing, and it's like, no, because they chose not to. And they're going, okay, well, now we got to deal with the disappointment. And I feel like they just jumped right in there. Says, you know what? Yeah, that's not something I can deal with, so I have to heal from that. They healed from that. And again, our perspective is off because we love and care for them. But again, that's not a bad thing. It's a place. But again, where do we go from here? And again, in the future, it will be more obvious. Not in this reading yet. But there is a completion of a cycle here coming to bear. And the green dragon, the secrets of nature, again, going out in nature will really recharge you at this time. You'll feel it on levels you've never felt before. And even if you're someone who, yeah, I know, hug a tree. No, seriously, it can help you detach from that which is polluting your life. So spend more time in nature if you're isolated at this time, because I do feel that in the Aquarius field. I feel we are quite isolated. Why? Because one, we're choosing not to deal with certain people because they are not of light, and we're realizing they're of darkness. And those that are portraying themselves as darkness, we're seeing through that as well. So it's very disappointing, but nonetheless, we're healing and moving forward, and nature will be a greater part of that to help you recharge. There's an end of a cycle here and a beginning of a new one, and it's huge, huge, huge for the Aquarius. 13, the death. Yeah, it's a complete end, an allowance to go forward freely. So your power of surrender card is bad habit of people pleasing. I think we understand this. I think we do. I think the Aquarius is the first in line going, you know what? No, I can't. I have to pay attention to myself, or I have to, are starting to put themselves first. Speak your needs and be true to yourself. Focus on your own happiness instead of always trying to make everyone else happy. I think we have realized this. And if we haven't, we're working on perfecting that to a degree where when I go outward, I choose to go outward in a perfect mode. Again, perfect, that word is kind of imperfect in itself. But I choose to go forward when I am at grace instead of, right? Because, one of the biggest lessons that created peace for me when I was younger was that people pleasing. It was my mother. And I felt guilt because my mother created me, blah, 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 blah. I want to please her. But every time I tried to do something she thought was right for me, I failed. And I was like, man, and I would get more disappointed and more and more and more. And it would just create, and I know from her heart, she didn't mean to hurt me. It was just that's her perspective of what I want. And she may not have understood the whole spiritual part of me. She may not have understood that. In fact, I know she didn't because I didn't speak of it. And frankly, I didn't know what I wanted. That's why I would always take her side because, well, she's an adult. She's my mother. She should know. She should know, but does she know? No, because that's a decision you have to make. And it's that independence. And I remember there was a big crux point dealing with my mother at that time because I had to start saying no to her and going, no. Even if I didn't have an option, it's like, well, where do you want to go? Well, I don't know, but I'm not going there because I know I don't want to go there. I have to figure it out. And it took me a long time to figure it out. Frankly, I think it took me into my 40s to figure out what the hell I wanted to do with my life. But I did figure it out. And it wasn't where she wanted me to be. She wanted me to go to places where I was financially secure. And that just wasn't jiving with me. I didn't care about the finances. I wanted to go to work happy. I wanted to go and be with people that made me happy. I didn't want to go to the grind, the ants marching back and forth with the toolbox, with the lunch kit. That just wasn't my thing. And not that working is not my thing. It's just the grind. I didn't want to be under the thumb of that. So the thing is finding what you love to do, I don't know if that's anything, but I'm just telling you that story because, there was a certain point, and it does create an influx of kind of chaotic energy until you decide, okay, I'm going to say no to this person instead of saying yes. And they need to take time to get used to that. And, if you communicate properly, they will understand that better. But the first time you say no to your mom when all you say is yes, there's going to be problems because they expect that of you. But you just have to be patient and say, look, I'm saying no, not because I don't love you. I love you and I care for your opinion, but I don't feel that is right for me and And here's why. And I never had that story to back it up. I always was, I just had a perpetual youthful mind. So I felt like, well, I have the rest of my life to decide. I don't care. Next thing you know, you're 40. It just sneaks up on you. Yeah. So it was like that. And this may be part of the Aquarian energy. It's like, it may take me a while to figure it out. But when I figure it out, it's going to be something I enjoy and have a passion for. And whatever. I don't know. Maybe some Aquarians are, parental figures are a part of who we're trying to please. Please yourself first and then go outward and share in the energy that you are gaining. So, Aquarius, wowzer. Sorry, that was a long reading, but I will shut it off here. It was deep, a little bit deep there. It created me a dizzy spell there because we're going so deep, but it was good. I hope it helped you. Usually when I get a physical thing like that, I know it's going to help someone profoundly. And so much so to the degree when I get a dizzy spell that signifies that their energy field will change. So congratulations. Take care. Have fun and be kind. Have a great summer, July and August. Take care.